3. All right.
That's awesome.
You're on.
Hello.
So, is this like the first time you've ever been interviewed for unicycling in general?
Is this specific for unicycling?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Because you've been interviewed before.
Yeah, we've been interviewed a lot, but not specifically on unicycling, I don't think.
Okay.
No, I'm scared to know when questions are coming.
How long have you been riding a unicycle?
Oh, wow, this is going to be good. This is going to dig, like, deep. So I received a unicycle for my 8th grade, Christmas in 8th grade. And I used to ride the unicycle around in my kitchen, breaking things and terrorizing my mother. But no, I really remember. So I remember I would get on the unicycle and I would kind of hold my arm with the counter and I would kind of like pedal along to, learn.
That's unsafe.
Yeah, it was definitely not safe, and I don't recommend it. No, and then I graduated from there because there was a counter on either side, and it was actually perfect. And because I used to be able to like kind of balance myself, and as I would go. And then I graduated to the gym. So then I used to go to the gym and actually kind of free. I don't even know what you call it. Freestyle? Free ride?
Yeah.
Free ride? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
No handles.
It's a new thing. It's your thing.
It's
Yeah, it's my thing. Yeah. So I was. What is that? How old are you in 8th grade?
Like, 13?
13?
Yeah.
13. That makes sense.
14 and...
Yeah, and then I got a bigger unicycle in high school. I want to say about freshman year of high school. I got the 6-foot tall unicycle. After I mastered the small one, then I wanted the big one.
So is that the tallest you ever ridden at 6 foot? Have you
So I actually have one that's a little taller. That's actually 3-wheel. Have you ever seen a 3-wheeled unicycle?
Well, it's not a unicycle.
I was about to say the
Technically,
same
you're
thing.
right.
I just want to say the same thing.
Okay, that's a technicality. No, you're right. Technically, I guess it is
It's
but they're on top of each other.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
I know.
okay.
You
So
pedal
it's-
the
it's
one,
stacked.
which pedals the
Oh,
other
I've
one.
seen that.
Yeah, but you've seen that. I've
That's
ridden that.
crazy.
Have you seen me ride it?
No.
Okay, I don't really ride it in the show, but that's just for fun. But that's about another foot taller, so that would say that way. That's about 7 feet. But that's the tallest unicycle.
Did you ever break any? Like, have you ever gotten your hurt?
Yes,
Really
a
bad?
lot, but not unicycling. Was that the question?
Yeah, like unicycle.
Okay, time out. Actually, here's the real story is the worst I ever got hurt was I do a trick in my show, you'll see, where I do a straight jacket escape on my unicycle. And I kick up onto the unicycle in the straight jacket, and I was doing a halftime show, and I fell backwards off, when I was jumping up on there, and I fell and I bruised my tailbone, actually. This is amazing. So that actually really hurt, and it was extremely embarrassing because I literally was like this on the ground, trying to get up, going like this for like 2 minutes until the end of Mission Impossible played out fully. And you can laugh, it's okay, sir. And they, and then they came in and like,
But just to hear that theme and the pitch of that with that theme
it
is
was
actually
so
even
funny.
more funny. Yeah.
Well, and at the time, like I was in college. I think I was a sophomore in college. It was like a college basketball halftime show, and so I was walking around campus like,
At Georgetown?
yeah, like so. Georgetown was a big basketball school, so there was like 20,000 people watching because they were probably playing like Duke or some huge team. And I remember walking around campus like on Monday, and people would be like, "Sweet unicycle ride, bro." So that's the most. So I don't recommend that.
So, like, with the straight jacket, does multitasking with the unicycle, does that make it easier or harder?
Definitely harder because it throws off your balance, and it's more just kind of the fear of not even if you don't use your hands when you're unicycling, just the fear of not having them if you do fall over. It gets a little getting used to. It takes a little getting used to. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the best way what's the biggest tip to remember if like myself, a beginner, wants to
For unicycling?
Yeah. What's the biggest tip?
That's a great question. So, okay, have you ever do you ride?
I'm learning.
Learning. Okay, have you ever hovered or idle? I don't know. Well, we used to call it hovering, but apparently all the kids these days call it idling,
Like when you...
which is when you go back and forth, right? The same. So my biggest tip, actually, I think it's up here, but I'll do it in the show. So when you go back and forth like that. My biggest tip would be that you don't actually only one foot is actually doing all the pressure. That was my knee, not my foot. Don't worry. I don't know if that's better or worse. So it means you can take your other foot off. And that's why when you see people like they put their foot up or they put their foot out or they kind of cross their leg and they're doing it back and forth with one. So I would say my biggest tip would be not to kind of learn how it works because it's different than a bicycle in the sense that like with a bicycle you have to like push down every time to make it go forward.
Yeah.
But with unicycling you're basically idling. You really only need one foot to do the pressure. So I would kind of say to like my tip would be to think about when you need to apply pressure and when you don't. Because if you just try to go, then you're just gonna, you ride for like 5 seconds and then you just fall off.
Yeah.
It's more balanced, it's more controlled is the word I'm looking for. The pressure is more controlled with the unicycle than it is with a bike.
When you're saying that you're going back and forth, are you going using this foot to go
Yeah,
bounce,
so
go back and forth?
there's always one foot down and there's one foot this way, and you would assume that your left foot is actually controlling the wheel, but it's not. It's whether it's this foot, this controlling, which means you can take this foot out and you can still go back and forth on this one foot.
And you're balancing on the one.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I'm going to learn
so
to ride the same too.
if I remember today in the show, I will actually say, like